Come to our social media platform. This is the YouTube video. Peter Anamon is where you can locate this YouTube video. My name is Peter Anamon, prophet to the nations, and then a motivational speaker and a preacher man for God's kingdom. Not for religion, a preacher man for God's kingdom. This is the difference between religion and the concept of the kingdom. We have been looking at the series on democracy, and we have been asking, is it the end of democracy? And we have been saying, yes, it is the end of democracy. It has been long time overdue that God sent his son to bring a government to this world. But because we were human beings that were living in ignorance, we allowed the devil to use some people called Pluto, Aristotle, Socrates, to bring their human idea, which has been called and named democracy. Even though it's the best of the system of governance that human beings have ever put in place, the best is what God has sent to man. But because we are ignorant, we never knew. And that is what we have been looking at. Because the time has come, now that we are all fed up with human government, this is the right and the best time to initiate, to establish God's government. And if we will have to establish God's government, then of course we need to establish God's country. And if we have to do that also, of course we need to gather citizens to complete the deal. That is why you are supposed to be a person that must be interested in becoming the citizen of God's country. People are always fighting to become citizens of the United Kingdom, the United States of America, and Europe and other nations. But let me tell you, the best citizenship is to become the citizens of God's country. That is what you should be looking for. Not to be looking for human nations, the world's nations citizenship, but God's citizenship. That's the best, because that is what will make it possible for you to run around very, very beneficial. Remember to like this video, because if you do, it will cause it to be exploded to other people who we don't have idea about, who will also receive the knowledge that we are sharing. The last time we saw in the records of Matthew, who recorded what Jesus talked about when he talked about politics, when he talked about governments of this world. He said the governments of this world are benefactors. They are vampires. They exploit the people. They exploit the people. And then when we come into governance, we shouldn't be like them. What does it mean? It means that Jesus himself talked against the government of this world. And then he has lobbied and also campaigned that his government he brought, the government of his Father God, will also come into power. And when we come into power, we should not be like the governments of the world. But the government of God should come in as servants to serve the people. That is why I gave you the example of John Magufuli of Tanzania. Magufuli of Tanzania. This man is doing wonders. So far, this man has distinguished himself from all presidents of the world, especially in Africa. This man is doing so great, so powerful, so wonderful. Not serving himself, not exploiting, but trying to be a servant to the people. That is what government is supposed to be. They are supposed to be serving the people. Jesus said it, that just as I came and I'm a servant to you, my disciples, so it is that any of you that seeks a high office should make himself a servant. As I speak myself, I have learned so much from Jesus. And if you ask people who are close to me, they will tell you how prophet is a servant to everybody. Ready to cook food. Those of you who don't know, I am an excellent chef. Ready to cook. I enjoy to cook, to serve people, because that is the mission I'm supposed to be doing. to serve anybody. You know, and I live a very humble life, because as a leader, you must live humble so that you'll be able to have enough for the people you lead. Like this video immediately as you are watching. And remember to share it to those you know. If you are first comer, subscribe so that the next subsequent videos, you will be granted immediate supply. Leadership, as God is talking about, is by servanthood. To make the people enjoy you, the leader. That is what is meant by leadership. Jesus demonstrated example. And that is what some of us have copied. I can tell you that as a great man of God worldwide, I live the simplest and the lowest cost of life. Why? Anytime I have to spend so much, I look at the cost of the money to spend and I weigh it for myself. No, I can use it for something better that will benefit many people. So I always find it difficult to spend so much. Except people that buy things expensive and give it to me. If you give me the money, sometimes I even tell people, give me the money so that I can use it wisely. Let us not learn to waste, live so expensively at the expense of others. We have surplus because some people need what we have as surplus. One time I told God that I have to travel, I need funding. And then he said, ask so and so, 2-3 people. And when the first person gave me the money, I told the second people, the third person and the second people, that I'm okay, I don't need it. He said, no, you can't block our blessings. So they all brought it. Then I said, what am I going to do with this money? God said, travel with it. I took all the money. Surprisingly, the conference I went, some men of God came and they were fasting, not knowing it is not true fasting, but they don't have money to live on. So I took care of them, many of them. Finally, I gave them money to go back to where they came from. I left the conference earlier. That is what we are talking about. Leadership is by humility, by submitting to make others better, sacrificing for people. That is what is leadership. That is the governance that God is looking forward to give to us. Today, rich people are coming out to say they are donating for people to get the vaccine. No, when the people were suffering before there was a COVID, why didn't you donate for them to get common water? People cannot get water. Almost 1 billion people, according to the reports, almost 1 billion people in the world don't have clean water to drink. And people have surplus of billions. And they are thinking about foolish things. Doing things that doesn't make sense. And now that is vaccine. Because of their evil agenda, they are ready to donate money so that everybody, we don't want those vaccines. Vaccines that you have taken evil counsel. You know what you are doing with the vaccine. You know it. But God will intervene very soon. God will intervene very soon. So governance is what God is interested in. In fact, the coming of Jesus is most important about how he will establish God's government, how he will establish God's country, and how he will gather God's citizens. And that is what is the prime thing of Jesus coming. Let's go to the next records that Luke also gathered concerning Jesus' political talk. You can find that in Luke 22. And let's take it from verse 25. But Jesus said to them, the kings of the Gentiles defiant, and by them exercise lordship, ruling as emperors and gods over the people. Defiance. What is defiance? That is making themselves think gods. Look at people that are supposed to be servants. They have made themselves gods to the people. And look at what he says. They make themselves emperors. And then they make themselves lords, lordship over the people. And then look at what he said. They exhibit authority. And they are called benefactors. Please just like this video so that it will reach out to some other corners. Share it to other people. And subscribe if you are new listening to this. Because these are informations that is not common. Look at what the church is doing. That is why I said Christianity is false. Now, where did you go to listen to Christianity's preaching? And it is about politics, about Jesus talking about governance, and Jesus talking about how he's interested to also campaign and establish his government. Look at what he said. Telling about the human government that is evil-minded. Politicians, I tell you, they are interested in themselves, not you. Look at what Jesus said. That they lodge authority over the people, and they are benefactors, well-doers. You see, they want to do things well for themselves, not the people. Oh my God! Look at that John Magufuli in Tanzania. The man is supposed to take $15,000. He said, "No, give me $4,000 or $5,000, and it's okay." Humble. Cut down the convoy of his presidency. Look at some of the nations. Look at the convoy they have. What is that? About over 10 years ago, I was part of dignitaries in Nigeria, and I met a governor, and that is the one who became president before. We met, and then I saw his convoy. It was a bus he carried with officials, and they came to the program. I applaud him. That's Goodluck Jonathan, who became a president in time. Let us humble ourselves so that we will be able to carry on this mission. So that is what God is saying. That those who want to be leaders, great people, let them be humble. Let them serve the people. But don't let it be, Lord, do you know who I am? Who are you? You are nobody. Today, as we are talking right now, we are laying Rawlings, Jerry John Rawlings, former president of Ghana. This man became a feared man. Today, where is he? He's dead. It's over. He's going to meet his maker, and he will answer questions. So let us learn lessons from how God wants us to lead people. To lead people. I remember some of the history of people like Busia, who was also a prime minister of this country. The man lived a very humble life. He brought receipts of socks, paste, and toothbrush, and returned all the money they gave him to travel, because he never spent it. He said the hotel gave him food, everything. Why are we so expensive as governments at the expense of the people? The convoy we carry, is it necessary? The fuel we waste, we burn, which can put boreholes in the villages where we need water. To mount a borehole, 7,000 can make a borehole. And how much is 7,000? That is a little bit over $1,000. We can sink boreholes for many villages. 6 million Ghanaians don't have water out of the 30 million. Here we are, living expensive in the cities. That's not what God is interested in. Like this video, and remember to subscribe if you are a new person, and share it to other people. And hang around, more yet to come your way. God bless you.